Hey everybody, it's Pete. Welcome to this episode of Best Stocks Picks for today. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020. And the biggest question that I'm getting from a lot of active traders is, when are we going to see the market reverse? And they're afraid to get long. And the bottom line is, you can't be afraid to get long. You're sacrificing current profits for a potential reversal in the market, and it's making you timid. And you should be looking for some of these stocks that are really breaking out on big volume. And even if you're not what I might call a swing trader, if you are watching these videos and you are actively managing your account, some of these trades are having 10 to 15 to 20% explosions over a 3-day period, and that's very hard to get in such a short period of time. So some of the ideas that we're calling out, some of them a little bit longer term swing trades, but stocks like the one we're going to take a look at now, which is Peloton, and a few other ones today, have had explosions. They're at or near breakout levels, 20-day levels, actually, which is the big level for many trend following systems. So we're going to dive in today. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. Stop looking for when the market might potentially turn around, because you're sacrificing current profits. But you absolutely need to be prepared for if that does happen. And that's not the same thing. That's just good trading. That's taking your trading to another level, to a professional level, where you say, I'm going to continue to trade what I see, but have in place exactly what I'm going to do if and when the market does reverse, and if and when your stocks do reverse. Are they overdue? Sure. But that doesn't change the fact that there's a giant stimulus package holding the entire market up, and we can't ignore that. So we're going to actually go up to the charts. By the way, if you find these videos helpful, click down and subscribe. That would mean everything to me. I'd appreciate it. So we're going to start out with Peloton. Again, if we go over to the weekly charts, we're obviously going to see that we're looking at all-time highs here again. Really, really solid couple of days, what I call well bid, good volume into all-time highs. And I'm looking for follow through here today. And believe it or not, I'd actually prefer a little bit of a lower opening, because a higher opening generally would trigger massive buy stops, and you would get a little pop, but then we normally pull back. So anywhere in the 49 area, I would like it to be for a new buy today. What's interesting is I think that this stock still has another $8 in profits through 40. So even despite the fact that it's already gone from, let's say, 38 to 50, I actually do like this for another $8 through the $49 level. So we're basically looking around 58 for the next one, and then a really nice pause after that. I'm getting a lot of questions about the financial stocks, and specifically Goldman Sachs versus JP Morgan. They seem to be two very actively traded stocks by the community. So we have Goldman here and we have JP Morgan here. I can tell you that I've been actively trading both of these, and JP Morgan has been very, very difficult, and you can see why. Since earnings came out, the majority of the closes have been below the open. Goldman seems to be holding up just a little bit better. So if I was forced to trade the two, I'd be looking at Goldman. The thing with Goldman is, you can see we clearly have resistance here at the 210 level. So in my opinion, we need to see that before we make a run at 240. Grub is another one that we actually had in yesterday's watch list, and we keep telling you, keep it in your watch list for a long-term play. It doesn't necessarily need to play out exactly the day that we talk about it, but you can clearly see here the resistance levels holding, but the stock is also not pulling back at all. We're not seeing selling come in at this particular price. So I still like this long. I still want to see it long, and it's in my watch list. You have to have your alerts above this level. You don't want them to be going off every single time it gets there. It'll drive you crazy with nothing going on. Next, we're going to take a look at CVNA. Again, very similar to what we're watching. We're seeing nice one-day explosions, looking for more. And what's interesting about this, one of our favorite chart patterns, I'll pull it out a little bit more, is this was an inside candlestick breakout, which again, that's my favorite one-day strategy if you need something simple to play, and that's exactly why you do it. Almost a $20 rally, maybe a little bit less, but very, very clean through resistance. Short-term resistance, new 20-day highs, clearly traded into this level. I'm actually looking for some follow-through here in this stock as well today. OSTK meets very similar circumstances. The one about OSTK, though, it's a little bit different. And let's go out to the monthly chart just to see where we are. It's actually coming into resistance. So let's go to the weekly. It might be easier to see there. We're coming into resistance here, and we are now well bid with good volume for 3 consecutive days. Well, actually 2 consecutive days, but 3 giant green candlesticks. I definitely would not be buying a higher opening here. I'd be letting it pull back, which seems to be the biggest profitable trades that we've been making at all. An interesting one here is Chewy, which we actually were watching it here last week, and in the private community, we were actually talking about watch them squeeze the shorts here. Oh, it's going to take out the lows here just by a little bit, and then spike in the other direction. And wow, they really do that. Not only did they squeeze the shorts, but absolutely, it's something to look at now from the long side. Again, very similar to what we just looked at. I want to see this stock pause a little bit before I get involved. I don't tend to like to buy after this many positive closes above the open in a row. We technically have 1, 2, 3, 4 well-bid candlesticks in a row right now. So a higher opening, if I was long, I'd actually be scaling my profits out in my window. Again, that's my 3 to 5 day window. If you're looking to establish a new swing trade, I'd be looking for it to pause before we got involved. One that I'm very angry about that I didn't call out for everybody yesterday was Square. Absolutely looking for follow through in Square today. That would probably be my trade of the day today, looking for that one to be long. Qualcomm just broke out of what I call the right price. And again, if you're a regular subscriber to the channel, you know that I'm very big on if that's the price, don't guess, wait for it to tip its hand. That's actually what it did. And we have some room up to 92 as the next level. So still $8, so possibly a good 2-day trade out of that in Qualcomm. And the last stock that I haven't watched in a while, because in my opinion, it's kind of been in this tighter trading range. I'm not looking to get involved Wayfair until it clears this level and pauses, but absolutely keep it on your stock watch. So we got some really good, solid, bullish ideas here, again, that aren't that extended. So you can see that clearing new levels, first or second day through those levels with good volume. The market just keeps creeping higher. It's aggravating a lot of traders that are trading nothing but futures. I can definitely understand why. We got that huge spike at the end of the day yesterday. But that's about it. It really wasn't tradable. If you're actually watching the S&P or the SPY yesterday, the bigger moves for most of the day were actually to the downside while it was below the open price. We just happened to have that big explosion at the end of the day. So I feel your pain if you're trading index futures right now. Be patient. Don't throw money away. You can get sloppy when you have a lot of leverage like that. But we're in a stock pickers market right now. Get in there and let's make some money together.